Hey there, Jester here. It's been a while, and I think I'm nearly done working on my Tyrannosaurus painting, which is a good thing because I know I have a very impatient little fellow who's waiting for this. Now, a couple more things. I'll show you how the painting's coming along, and then I'll tell you what else I need to get done on it. So let's get this turn around. Yeah, so there's my Tyrannosaurus and this little fellow and another little dinosaur over here, which of course I am blanking on the names of. The doctor knows. You know, the doctor had very carefully looked up other Cretaceous dinosaurs that would be found with a Tyrannosaurus. These ones were from the Hell Creek Formation, so we know they'd all be together, but of course I can't remember the names of them, but they were researched. So what I need to work on here is, I thought I was just about done. I'd even gone so far as to put sparkles on, my Tyrannosaurus, some in the sky, and some on the ground as flowers, just to make it a little more exciting. And then I realized that I had completely forgotten to put any feathers on my Tyrannosaurus. And then I figured as long as I'm fixing him up, I can, lighten the belly on the little orange friend over here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the feathers on the Tyrannosaurus, and while that's drying, I'm going to lighten the belly on the little theropod, and then by the time the paint is dry on the Tyrannosaur, I can put a little Mod Podge on it and add some sparkles, because we want him to pop. And also because the little fellow that I'm making the painting for, he likes dinosaurs and he likes sparkles. So let me get my cameras back into position. So there's that one, and then we've got this one. So alright, so I'm going to make my Tyrannosaurus feathers brown, since I don't think there were any green feathered dinosaurs as far as I know. So I'm going to start with a dark brown. And to make it a little darker and a little muddier, I'm going to add some blue. There we go. A little bit of that. That's going to be sort of the undercolor that I'm going to do. I will end up adding a little more brown to lighten it up. But yeah, I'm going to make him fairly sparsely feathered. He's not going to be completely covered like the other two little guys. But he still needs some. Yeah, we definitely want some on the arms. And on the back. Now, the great thing about dinosaur feathers is that they're quite primitive. So I don't need to worry about the structure particularly. painting actual birds would be much harder. And spoiler alert, there is a young lady that I will be doing a painting for, and she likes birds. So that is going to be a bit of a challenge. Definitely want them on the tail. But yes, I don't need to make very structured feathers. I can just make these wispy little streaks. And that's about what a dinosaur feather should look like. Let's put a few on the legs too. All right, so that should be sort of my underlayer. So I'm going to add more brown, lighten that up. There we go. So that's just a nice brown instead of more of a blue color. Okay, and now we're just going to start going over that again. Because the first layer of feathers I put on is kind of more shadows. Sort of the shadows of the feathers. I'm just going to kind of go over them with brown. Because theropods definitely had feathers. And then later, theropods became birds. Given how sassy and bitey little Squeaky was, he definitely knows that he was a dinosaur. Now, I know some people complain that dinosaurs with feathers don't look cool, but those people are wrong. Dinosaurs with feathers look very punk. I'm not quite getting these ones on the thigh to look quite like I want them to. That's all right. It's a painting. A little over here because this leg is kind of in shadow, so I don't want to put too much of the actual colors on there. I do love putting the big plume on the tail. I think that looks quite cool. All right, and now I'm going to do one more layer of brown on this. I'm going to make a lighter brown. So I'm going to take the dark brown, squish out a bit of that, and then I'm going to get a lighter brown. This one, just to kind of give them some highlights. Get another popsicle stick. Yeah, because I don't want it to be like super, super light to make it a little too obvious, but I think what I'm going to do is get my smaller brush for that. And I got the light coming in from this side, so I'm gonna put and try to put the light color on this side of my feathers. So it looks like it's kind of highlighted. Yeah, my Tyrannosaurus was looking very naked before. Now he's got a cool haircut. Go all the way down his back, down his tail. I'm not really sure what kind of coverage Tyrannosaurs had, if they were, you know, just sort of punk feathers like this, or if they were fully feathered like a bird. And I'm not really sure what the latest research on that is. So I'm just going to go with my cool punk haircut. Okay. A little bit on the forearm, but not too much. And on the tail. And on the leg. I'm not really the world's best painter, but I do find it rather fun. Maybe I should do more paintings. God, there's only so many hours in the day. I don't think I'm going to put any of the lighter color on this leg, because that's all in shadow. I will put a little on the tail. So that's a little in shadow. I do want a little more definition back there. Alright, I think I'm going to declare my Tyrannosaurus done. And I'm going to wash out my medium-sized brush. Add a little dry. And now I'm going to work on the little theropod down here. Now I'm just need to make his belly a little lighter color. So he's kind of an orangey brown. So I'm going to make a bit of an orangey brown. So there's very light color. And I'm going to put a little bit of orange in that. Crack them open. Orange and it's lighter brown. Lighten it up. And that's going to be a very bright color, so I'm going to put some blue down so I can mix that in if I need it. A little bit and make it a little more muddy instead of, you know, traffic cone yellow or orange. All right, the popsicle stick. So it's that mixed up. That's nice and bright. Add in some of this sort of creamy tan color. And how would that look on his tongue? Yeah, just a teeny bit of blue. Okay, so that's what I'm going to start with. My medium brush. And I'm going to start putting that on his tummy. Pull it down like that. That's from the dinosaurs that we actually know their colors. They do tend to be, you know, dark on the top and light on the bottom, just like, you know, on most animals, because that's what they are. They're just animals. And I'm going to add in a little more blue to make a shadow. I can start darkening a little too much there. Start with this slightly lighter. Kind of bring it down. Building up the shadow. And a little darker. And a little darker than that. Super dark, really super shadow. And it's a little too blue now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some black. Add darkness without adding color. Tint. So, that. That in there. There we go. Kind of blend that. Give it my lighter color and just kind of blend that in. There we go. That little guy has has his lighter tummy. I'm going to get my paint tray out of the way, and I'm going to start adding a bit of... Actually, no, I am going to need my paint tray because I'm going to put some Mod Podge in there. And I've got some brown sparkles that I'm going to put on the Tyrannosaur's feathers. As soon as I get that open, I'll glop a bit into there. I'm going to get one of my dollar store brushes instead of one of my nice art store brushes. And I'm going to just kind of paint on some glue stripes. I'm wanting to go into the brown paint, but I don't need to. I'm not gonna do all of it at once because I want to make sure my glue is nice and wet when I put that in there. So I'm going to get some sparkles. You get these kind of bronzy ones. I'm just going to give that a little shaky shake over. It doesn't need to be like a lot of sparkles. It just needs to be a little bit of a highlight. I've got my kind of bronzy ones. And maybe just a little bit of this copper. Just to brighten them up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna let my brush go. Yes, the problem with adding glue is you don't want the glue to dry on your brush or otherwise cause trouble. He's gonna have some on his legs. And some on his tail. I'm going to add a little more to his head, just because I can. Okay, so my bronze again. And yes, once the Mod Podge has dried, I will be shaking off the excess sparkles, but you don't need to watch me do that. That's not particularly exciting. Okay. What else do I want? I want the other arm and the tail. A little bit on this other leg, since I've got some sparkles on his shadowed leg as well. So, bronze. I'm only going to use the bronze on the farther leg. Okay. And a little bit of copper. Whatever I got left over, I'm just going to put on the closer bits. There we go. Okay, and that is about, that's the painting part done anyway. Now, unfortunately for the person I'm making this for, it is going to be another month before I can give it to him, because I want to varnish this to make sure all the sparkles stay on, and you can't varnish it until everything is completely dry and completely cured. And for some reason, Mod Podge cure time is 4 weeks. I guess to make sure that it is completely dry. But yes, that is. Oh. No. I do also have a little more decoration I want to do to this, and I will need to stick the hardware on the back so that it can be hung. But the main part of this painting, I believe, is complete. So, until next time, stay crafty.